Welcome, this is a recorded session of the Post-Quantum Cryptography Conference of the PKI Consortium. This conference would not have been possible without our sponsors, PQ Shield, SSL.com, Entrust, Keyfactor, HID Global, and the organizational support of the Post-Quantum Cryptography Working Group of the PKI Consortium, and in particular, Entrust, Keyfactor, and Logius. Would you like to join the PKI Consortium? Go to pkic.org/join, or contact us if you would like to become a sponsor.
So, thank you all people for participating us at the PQC conference here in Austin, Texas. The couple of days, I think we've seen a lot of interesting topics which are discussed, and yeah, specifically, I also want to mention all the people behind the scenes who work very hard to make this all possible. But of course, also you guys who are being here, it's really great for us. So nice to see that, and all those the sponsors, the speakers, and of course the team from behind the scenes who worked hard to make this possible. So. Really, I want to thank you for all this, and yeah.
So let's summarize that up before we go to the networking, because after this, we all go to, or I hope you will join us under the oaks, so where we have the lunch with some great networking and continuing this conversation. Because from what I've learned and the people I spoke to, we're far from done. We're still at the beginning of this journey. And there are so many conversations ongoing that we could have added a few more days and still be going. But okay, we don't have that opportunity. But even in these 2 days, getting this organized, there are a lot of people involved. And on the screen here, the photo we took earlier during lunch, that is all the people that you've been watching, you've been talking to, that have been presenting, that have helped us organizing this conference, that have been working behind the scenes, making sure that all the people remotely can attend this. That you can, when you come back home, and you thought, actually, when I was watching this session in the breakout room, there was actually also a really interesting session ongoing in the plenary room. Well, in a couple of weeks, you can go back. But it's not only the people, it's also these organizations. And you have seen them in the commercials throughout the day. But I hope that we've promised or delivered on our promise to keep this an educational and an informational session and not a commercial session. Because yes, we rely on sponsors. And why do we rely on sponsors? Because we're a nonprofit organization. We have no membership fees. And even this event is free of charge for both in-person and remote attendees. So if your organization would be able to sponsor us, the work that is being done by the PKI Consortium, or the events like this one that we're organizing, that would be highly appreciated. We're not doing this for ourselves. We're not getting paid for this. This is a voluntary activity that we think we're doing all together for the good of the internet. So on pkic.org/sponsors, we have a little bit of information about our sponsorships. But reach out to contact@pkic.org, because we really appreciate it. And it's really needed to keep doing this. So please become a sponsor.
Yeah, not only for yeah, oh, you see it over here. Subscribe to, of course, the YouTube channel for the recording. We were working hard on a couple of weeks to address all those videos and post it on YouTube. We already had a live stream, but it's a large one, so we're gonna divide it in different topics. So you can get the information back. On our site, of course, and also the presentations will be available for you to download.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to the conference website where you currently see the agenda, in a couple of weeks, you will see that the titles light up and you can click on that to download the slides in PDF form. And shortly after that, we will also start adding the videos there. But if you want to be first seeing that, because before we put them actually on our website, we will wait until we've cut all the presentations, and that takes a bit of time. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will get a notification as soon as we upload a video, which will go in batches. So that gives you an early notification of what's going. But really important as well is there are always things that can go better. And don't be shy, because feedback is what we need. We're doing this all together for each other. So during this...
I heard a couple of things, Paul.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
What did you hear?
Well, one of the things is that there are so many great sessions, I can't watch them all. Fix it. Well, we're trying to do that with the recording, but split minds, I don't know. But one thing that could be, if you have the sessions, maybe put a few minutes between each session so you can switch rooms, go up, go down, and actually that makes sense. We need to think about it a bit, how we're going to do this with planning, because we don't want to make the presentation shorter, because 30 minutes is not that long, but we will figure it out. We are going to think about that and make sure that for the next conference, you will have some time to switch between rooms.
Any other thoughts about what we can do better?
Add another day.
Okay.
Well, even that has come up. And
Yeah,
so
sure.
what we had here at the conference is the ability for a workshop. So we had one workshop room where some people participated in, but we've been thinking about, what about indeed adding another day, a day of workshops, where we have different vendors, maybe your sponsors, where you can join a hands-on session. Something like that, or more probably product perspective or solution specific. Those will not be live streamed because that would be hell. So sorry for that. You will need to come in person. But it's a thought we have. Of course, that will also have consequences, because another day means another day of lunch, another day of coffee, another day of snacks, and that will cost a lot of money. Another day of renting these rooms, that will cost money. So think about the sponsorship. But definitely, good idea.
Nice.
Sorry? Where are we
That's
looking
a good
to hold it
question.
next year? Where would you want us to host
Yeah.
it? Same place. Austin, yeah? Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Oh, sounds interesting. Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just think about it because we have different opportunities, different possibilities. We're not sure right now. It all depends on you. So what we would like to do is please send us all the information and questions you have. Of course, we will send a survey, but it would be very nice that you send us information on what would you like more next year and at what kind of place, etc. That would be very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So the survey, I think, is really important. Again, feedback is really important. And unfortunately, after events like this, we during the events, we heard a lot of good things. But after the event, when we send out a survey, we get a couple of dozen. Yeah, we have a couple of thousand registrants, but only a couple of thousand that actually fill in the survey. So please take that time. We keep it short. Just fill in what sessions did you like? What sessions do you thought, well, that was actually not worth it? Maybe these topics would be more interesting to cover. Maybe suggestions for speakers or indeed locations. So as the PKI Consortium is a global organization, we have members across the globe. We've been doing this in different areas. So we started in Canada, Ottawa. We moved to Europe. This year, we're in the US, Texas, here in Austin.
Should we go to Russia?
No, thank you.
Oh, just kidding.
But there is also demand potentially for APAC, somewhere in Asia, or maybe back in Europe. My prediction is that we might not do it in the US because we want to make sure that all our members have an equal opportunity to attend these conferences. And unfortunately, I do not have the time to organize for a year. But anyway, your feedback is really important. It's key. It's key for everyone. And there are other ways to do this, as we showed you earlier.
Yeah, I had one add-on because it's not only but also maybe you got some ideas about interesting topics you would like to see next year or this year when we have a second one this year. So please let us know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How do you let us know?
Oh.
Well, one is you can email us at contact@pkic.org. Yeah, you can send us a message on LinkedIn. We have a LinkedIn group, PKI Consortium. You can join that. You can send your IDs and comments there. Or you can join the PKI Consortium, like all these organizations. If you go to pkic.org/join, you can actively participate in the discussion and in the selection of the speakers, in the suggestion of the speakers early on. Like, we're starting organizing now with the next conference. So we're thinking about somewhere November, probably this year. This conference was originally intended to do the end of last year, but circumstances pushed this out to the early of this year. But we still plan to have the next conference by the end of this year. So we will start soon with the preparation for that, because if we spread it across the year, it's less effort for everyone, and everyone knows that it is coming, and we will send out a call for proposals for speakers to submit their topics, which is also really important. Like, we know this is an evolving field. Every day is changing. It's really difficult, actually, to organize a conference where all the speakers say, I will give you something a week in advance.
And what kind of conference? I mean, look at this. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's challenging. So that's really good. So if you think about the topics, we don't have to have the entire abstract and the details because things evolve, things change. But the challenges we have now are probably not resolved tomorrow. So by setting the scenes, even if it's high level of the directions that we want to cover, that could be like, we had an amazing discussion about hybrids. I think that is definitely something we probably want to continue. How can we dive further into that? And maybe things are changing. The regulatory perspectives that we talked about in Amsterdam last year, I think that the different geographical and political approaches to quantum, that was a track we had several talks about. Things like that, if we know where to go and we're knowing the speakers, they can prepare for that, we can prepare for that, we can set the agenda early, but still keep the content fresh, because the freshness and the actuality of this content in an ever-changing world is key to the success of the conference. But okay, I don't want to hold you any longer. It was great having you all here. It's a pleasure to see, I think, at least if I look back on it, I think we had a successful conference. I met wonderful people, really knowledgeable people in the field, new people that I would love them to join the PKI Consortium and to join our discussions. And again, also there, you don't have to be there every week. We do have several working groups. People join in from time to time if they think there's something on their mind they want to talk about, or they send it on our mailing list. We have several private mailing lists where we exchange ideas and thoughts or questions. Join that. Join the discussion. But for now, I would really like to say, join each other and start some networking, take a drink, and hope to see you next time.
Yeah. Thank you.